Hey, somebody's got to see if there's room at the end. This time there is? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer.
Oh, hello. You're probably here about the story.
Here, you and I will use common sense and all the wisdom we can muster to move beyond what is true and go all the way to the truth.
Fragile. It must be Italian.
With listeners in over 100 countries around the world, I am the Professional Noticer.
There must be some easier way for me to get my wings.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. As the Professional Noticer, it is my job to professionally notice something for you, and nothing's off limits. So what is your question? You got something in business or a spiritual issue, popular culture question? We even tackle the odd conundrum like, is there anything more strange we could do for Christmas than to bring trees inside and put the lights outside? My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life you would live if all your toughest questions were answered. And our sponsor today is us. It's the Professional Noticer. On this joyous occasion, we want to thank you for listening and hope you have a very Merry Christmas. You know, usually observations and answers are what we do here. And we do need the questions to deliver these answers and to make these observations. And so we'd love to field a question from you. Write me. The email is theprofessionalnoticer@andyandrews.com. And if we use your question, the Professional Noticer will send you your choice of the Guided Traveler Experience, 8 hours of live video seminar, or the 100-Year Parenting Course, a collection of 53 videos, each between 10 and 20 minutes. This week, though, we're not doing questions. I'm going to read you a couple of Christmas stories. This is a Christmas story that I wrote several years ago. And for those of you who are a part of Wisdom Harbor, as you know, there is a new holiday doc. And this one is going on the holiday doc to go along with some of the others. But for those of you Professional Noticer followers, Merry Christmas. Here we go. The Christmas Parade. Just hear those sleigh bells ringling, ting, ting, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Terry Henley sang excitedly as she washed the breakfast dishes. At 2 o'clock that very afternoon, she was to lead the Sawyerton Springs Combined Church Choir Carolers in the annual Christmas parade. Terry, an alto in the Grace Fellowship Baptist Church Choir, has sung with the carolers for the past 13 years. They're a mixture of voices from the Baptist Church and Bowman's Pond United Methodist, a combination that produces an occasional disagreement about song selections. The Methodists, being more traditional, prefer carols like "O Little Town of Bethlehem" and "Joy to the World," while the Baptists seem to be more of a Frosty the Snowman bunch. Finishing in the kitchen, Terry mentally went over the song list. Sleigh Ride was first, followed by "Away in the Manger," "O Holy Night," and "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus." Those 4 songs she was certain would parade route, which was only 3 blocks long. Even then, Terry thought, we'll have to sing fast. Across town at that very moment, Billy Pat Williams was explaining to Dave Wink the procedure he wanted followed for the ping-pong ball drop. Dave is a pilot from Foley who has his own airplane and a crop dusting business. Crop dusting being what it is in December, Dave has had to resort to other sources of income. "Now look, Dave," Billy Pat said, "we have 500 of these ping pong balls, and they're all numbered. Some of the numbers correspond to a cash amount, and some can be redeemed for items at specific stores in town. Of the 500, About 50 are actually worth something. Just dump all 500 directly over the parade route, Billy Pat said. But wait until about 2:30. The parade will be over by then. The ping pong ball drop was a new idea that the city council felt would add a little life to an event that had become rather tired. The council solicited donations from businesses in the form of cash or merchandise to be given away to any person catching a correctly numbered ball. All over town, the merchants were offering items for the ping pong ball drop. Tom Henley, Terry's husband, donated a rake and 50 pounds of horse feed from his hardware store. George Cosser sponsored 10 balls with his two-piece dark meat specials from George's Fried Chicken, and Rick Carper donated a $15 shopping spree aboard his rolling store. The big prize was $50 from Mike's Mortuary, where cash had really been the only choice. Or as Mike had put it, a gift certificate probably wouldn't be appreciated. By 1:30, most of the parade participants were milling around the side street by the Vine and Olive Hotel. Roger Luker, the policeman, was trying to line everyone up by yelling through a bullhorn. No one listened. The carolers were first, followed by the Genealogical Society float. Next came Rick's rolling store, the big school bus, carrying the Royal Ambassadors and the Girls' Auxiliary from Grace Fellowship Baptist Church. The Daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, walked behind them, led for the 27th year by Miss Luna Myers. The problem spot in the lineup appeared to be the next entry. Betty Jo Cosser had taken 6 dogs and hitched them to a small homemade sleigh. Eliza, the youngest Cosser, was to ride in the sleigh, and the dogs, of course, were not happy. Complicating matters were the papier-mâché reindeer antlers Betty Jo had tied to their heads. No sooner than the dogs were hitched up, Christy and Tony Hamilton pulled into line with their horse and buggy. Governor, the horse, took a bite out of the wreath attached to the Cosser sleigh, which terrified Eliza. She ran screaming from her position in line and was immediately followed by the dogs, who were chased by the members of the Sawyerton Springs High School Marching Barracuda Band. After what seemed like forever, calm was restored, and the parade got started. Tony Hamilton glanced at his watch. It was 2:30 on the nose. "What idiot positioned us behind these dang dogs?" he hissed to Christy as he smiled and waved at Pastor Ward on the sidewalk. "I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold Governor out of that sleigh much longer." Suddenly, a shadow passed over, and they all looked up. Struggling to hold Governor, who was frightened by the noise, Tony hollered to his wife, "What's he doing here so early?" "I don't know," Christy yelled back, "but if he drops those balls now, we'll have a situation on our hands." "Don't worry about it," he said. "Dave's not that stupid. There's no way he'll drop 500 ping pong balls right into the middle of a parade." But he did. At first, Dave had been confused. Hadn't Billy Pat said 2:30? He wondered. It looked to him as if the parade was still happening. Oh, well, he decided. Billy Pat specifically said 2:30. Dave is known around town as a person who will do exactly as he is asked. Exactly. If you want him to dust the bean fields behind your house, you'd better tell him exactly which bean fields. Otherwise, Dave might dust the bean fields behind your house into the next county. Dave was not a rocket scientist, but he was not in a rocket. He had 500 ping pong balls that he had been instructed to drop at 2:30. It was 2:30. Bombs away. Dave lined up on Main Street, dropped the plane down, and hit the trigger. The noise of the plane was too much for the animals. The ping pong balls floating unexpectedly out of the air and the knowledge that one of them was worth $50 was too much for the people. It was bedlam. The dogs panicked and ran into the crowd by the library. They tripped and tangled, falling over their antlers. Governor reared up and took the Hamiltons careening through Norman's parking lot, where Miss Edna Thigpen, who is deathly afraid of horses, hit him with her purse and sent him running back into the street. The band, meanwhile, ditched their instruments and competed gamely with the Daughters of the American Revolution for the ping-pong balls. Dave, having dumped most of the balls between Henley's Hardware and Rollins gas station, continued to dive on the spot, watching the action. Folks, normally easygoing and polite, were quite literally stampeding each other for the little white prizes. It was the odd suddenness of it all, the unexpected early arrival of the possibility of something free that did them in. Pastor Ward, on his hands and knees chasing a ball, was heard to say, "I can't believe I'm doing this." But he did it anyway. He captured 14 ping-pong balls and won a root beer from Norman's. All in all, most of the townspeople had pretty much the same luck. When everything was said and done, it didn't seem worth the effort. Tom Henley won his own rake, and between George, Betty Jo, and their 3 kids, they got back 4 of their dark meat specials. As for Dave, he is blissfully unaware that the town will not be using his services next year. The city council is already looking for a new, safer tradition to start, one that doesn't require planes or objects falling from the sky, or Dave, for that matter, who was not only paid for his efforts, but turned in the one ball that blew back into the cockpit with him and made an extra $50. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, reading your Christmas stories to you and your family. Listen, we got another one to go, and it's a special one. But here's the thought. I know you can use Google to find the speed of Santa Claus as he travels to hit all the houses in the world in one night, or the answer to the question, can any piece of coal be pressed into a diamond? But where do you seek wisdom? There's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. We've talked about it a lot. Knowledge will help you understand that diamonds are much harder to come by than, would be your average piece of coal mixed with pressure. But wisdom will tell you that there are things far more worthwhile to do with your time than looking up ways to cheat the gemstone making process. Pure knowledge, without the wisdom to apply that knowledge in the proper way, is not only useless, it can be a massive time waster. Allow me to suggest wisdomharbor.com. That's wisdom, H-A-R-B-O-U-R. That's harbor with an O-U-R. Go there now, and I'll welcome you and give you a free 5-minute guided tour. Then become a member of Wisdom Harbor. It's only $17 a month. The holiday doc is up. There's more stuff to listen to. Do it for your family, your business, and your schools. wisdomharbor.com. Hey, I want to do another story for you, and this is a very special one. My wife, Polly, has read this to our boys every Christmas Eve since they were born. They go in Adam's room and get on either side of Mom, and she reads it. And I love this. It was written by Clement Moore in 1823. It's really the first. You've heard this before. Twas the Night Before Christmas, but this is really the first description we had of a modern Santa Claus and the reindeer, and we're getting Dasher and Dancer and all like this way before the Rudolph special came out. Remember the Rudolph special with the little elf? I just want to be a dentist. That one, and she thinks I'm cute. And, there's just so many great lines from that, but. I want to do it for you in case you don't have anybody else to read this to you this Christmas, and this will also be posted forever on the holiday doc in Wisdom Harbor. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plum danced in their heads, and Mom in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur, from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry! His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a round little belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night." I still love that after all these years. You guys, I'm the professional noticer, and ladies and gentlemen, we want you to have a very, very Merry Christmas. And I think that'll do it for this week. Get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, smile while you talk, shake hands with the kids you meet, and make sure you have an answer to the question, are the elves at the North Pole the same as the ones in Lord of the Rings, which seem a little bit scarier, if you ask me? And so, until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme, written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Professional shopping provided by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by Mistletoe Tow Sleds Incorporated. At Mistletoe Tow Sleds, we're here for your holiday needs when the unexpected strikes. Whether you're a big guy in a red suit with an ignition failure in your holiday cheer-powered sled, Or you're just an ordinary family from Iowa, and the battery is dead in your Christmas light-covered station wagon, Mistletoe Tow Sleds Incorporated is available all season, 24 hours a day, to pick up and take your vehicle to the nearest island of misfit cars. Our sleds will hook your wagon to our ice-powered chassis and drag it past the abominable, through the candy cane forest, and along any ice-covered terrain. In addition to providing transportation to all our customers, you'll receive your very own piece of mistletoe, plucked freshly from treetops of whatever dying tree we might find along the way. That's right, little white poison berries and all, you'll go home with your very own parasitic plant that kills other trees and has somehow made its way into the hearts of all who love tradition, kissing, and the Christmas season. So, if you find yourself on the way to Grandma's house, broken down on the shoulder of the road, there you are, wearing a red hoodie, snow swirling, and a wolf creeping closer. Wait, that's a different script. No wolves necessary in this commercial. It's Christmas! Therefore, if you find you're in need these holidays, just whistle, and we'll fly right to you, like the down of a thistle. We are Mistletoe Tow Sleds Incorporated.